Hard right.
Hard right.
How many times can you say it? Yeah.
I can say it as many times as I want.
It was a beautiful day. Jack showed up. There was a sheep nearby, and Matt was crying. The trees flew by. Me and Chris were singing a little ramblecast, and I was blind. Yeah, we're rambling cast again. You never know what you'll see. Talking as we please and going wherever we leave. Yes, the ramble cast again.
That was pretty good. That might have been your best ever, Nick. At least your best in a few weeks.
I was thinking about that song just the other day. Yeah,
that's Tom Petty, right?
Tom Petty,
yeah. That running down a dream kind of feel. Yeah,
I used to think it was running down the street, but
how's that COVID?
That's going good.
Good. You brought it back from the.
I took it. I took a test and I did not have COVID because I have super immunity. I have super immunity.
I don't think you have super immunity. You've
I
had
think
it.
I do.
You've had to.
I've never tested positive for COVID.
Well,
COVID looks at me. COVID looks at me and goes, "Stay away from this guy."
But
stay away from this guy.
But do you have all 3 different vaccines? I don't think so. I wear the power gauntlet of all 3 different vaccines. So.
I've had the 2 boosters and the 2 regulars.
What is Chris doing, by the way? He's looking like a little gopher from like Caddyshack.
So I'm actually I'm trying out a new feature of Mac and iOS, a continuity camera. So I'm actually currently using my iPhone as my webcam.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
didn't look any different.
Does it track you?
It looks a little darker.
It is in what right now. It's in like the center stage mode.
Oh,
it will track me.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it is moving a little bit. Yeah.
And then.
Okay. Yeah.
Keep moving, Chris.
I can do desk view, so you can actually kind of see.
Go 30 steps to the right. This is great for the people that aren't.
Yeah, if everybody's listening at home, and that you actually even hear them.
For the 8 people in the chat or watching live.
Actually, kind of cool is that you can also do this bit. Mm-hmm. You can't see it on the thing, but you can use desk view if you wanted to like do demonstrations. It's actually pretty cool. I don't know. I was just messing around with some new settings, but
for the people that are listening at home and can't see it, let it be known that desk view was
Chris sitting at a desk.
There you go. Ooh, now that looks the picture quality now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was. Yeah,
that's like some studio quality.
There you go.
You can see all the wrinkles on you now.
Yeah, you can.
But it's kind of a warm cast, though. He's got a.
You can see the wrinkles and like.
If I was a studio producer, I would call him up on the main screen there. You know, like.
You can take over anytime you want.
It's okay.
Because I was about ready to lose. I go. Can I just get a fucking answer when we record?
Yeah, sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah, hey, I was always whatever works for you guys.
Sure. Hey,
I was the same.
Whatever.
Just saying. I was like fucking Sweden.
It's
I'm the difficult.
Switzerland. Fuck. Whatever. I mean, I'll stop at Sweden on the way over there.
Well, Jack was in Europe getting RSV, getting COVID.
I'm getting COVID, but no, COVID's afraid of me.
Hulk Hogan poses. Am I still doing it? It's not falling anymore.
Now you have no arms.
I thought this was like the Ben Kenobi.
This last setting is the best, Chris.
Oh, thank you, Sherry. I appreciate it. But I want to do some Hulk Hogan poses.
Miami Mike says some hosts are super easy with recording times. Yes, I know
hosts are. Yeah.
He's pretty easy when I schedule him.
If Mike wants to come over and just take over my section, my little square on the like the Hollywood squares, we could can we rent out like sublet our podcasting duties.
we could make money if people want to do it. It's
You imagine
$50 a pop, you know.
Look,
Can you imagine just like it's like your DoorDash guy or somebody just like just one day just like opens up the camera in Matt's bedroom or his little Lego room there. He's like, hey guys,
Who's the guy? Oh, he delivered my sandwich.
Yeah.
So,
I'm paying him. I'm paying him more than what Jimmy John's pays him to just do this podcast,
yeah, there you go.
and I'm still breaking even.
Anyway,
Something happened to Chris completely.
No, I'm here. I just wanted to.
I don't know.
Put up a
is this
diver
on-
flag.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was thinking diver flag.
Okay, right on.
Whoa.
So this is my little connector thing here. It's kind of cool.
That got trippy.
Yeah.
This
A little
is
3D
Again,
printing thing from
For
Etsy.
you guys listening right now, you should really just subscribe to our channel, and you can see this great.
the lighting. The lighting on you looks fantastic. Like,
Oh, I
Is
think
it one of those? Is it one of those round lights?
there's no light in my room. It's literally. I'll show you again.
It looks
it's
just like
just his camera.
Oh wow!
just the-
God, I look pretty good.
I'm freaking out.
And me.
Whoa.
Yeah,
God,
it's
that was
a
very,
little-
very
close and
intimate.
personal there.
Should we discuss Jack's trip to Europe?
We should.
I think
Sorry,
we
I get
did.
distracted
I
with
think
my camera.
we already did. How do I do that with my phone?
It was an interesting trip. If you have a chance to go on a Viking cruise or Viking, I highly recommend it. They're top notch. The food was fantastic. The service was just amazing.
The raping and the pillaging was
That's what I was
perfect.
about to say. That's what you've heard me rant about this. It's bullshit because it's not a true Viking river.
You
quest,
don't know. I hadn't gotten to that part yet.
Oh, okay. We're all waiting.
Did you dress in furs with a shield and like a club? And did you get to beat anyone?
Oh, okay. Well, we did have some
Right,
excitement.
Cindy?
We did have some excitement on day. Was it? We landed. I think it was day 3. Cindy forgot one of her medications, so we're
The
walking
one she has to
around.
take to put up with you.
Exactly. Which is that's
Called
good
a
one, Chris.
fucking Quaalude.
I was going to say the Quaaludes. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's pretty funny, Chris.
It
Anyway,
really
so
was. It really.
so that was the funniest joke Chris has ever told. Anyway, so
Thank
she
you very
forgot one of her medications, so she wanted to buy a cuckoo clock in Regensburg, Germany.
She clearly was out of the medication.
She's
That's
got one
yes.
living with her.
I know.
Exactly. So we're going on this tour, and we're sitting down, and the tour sometimes. I mean, you can only see so many churches and castles.
Were you in the
that is so
Dark
true.
Forest region? Because that's kind of.
We were not in the Dark Forest region, but they did tell us that's where the cuckoo clocks originated, how
Yes.
they
Yep.
developed them,
Yep.
and all the different
So
stuff.
that,
So
that
we
is
had-
that is originally where my heritage comes from. Is
Really?
the Dark Forest
Really? The
region
Dark
with the cuckoo
Forest?
clocks? Yeah.
that explains your white complexion, very white complexion.
Yeah. hmm
Okay. So you're not
Anyway,
out in the
okay, so
sun.
I know the region though. That's why I was kind of
Well,
like,
that's
cuckoo.
good because-
I was like cuckoo clocks, but there is a section in Sweden though, right?
Sweden.
I may not have got to that part because
Okay.
Cindy got up and left and went outside for a little bit, and I was sitting in the front, and she came back in. She says, "I need to go," and I said, "Okay," and she's like dripping in sweat, and she has an Apple Watch, and her heart rate was going like 212 beats a minute or something like that.
Shit.
I'd get a
So
new
we-
Apple Watch.
Yeah, so we walked back to the ship,
Aldi.
and she's just, I mean, I've never seen anybody sweat so much. And she's just, it's like I'm pouring a hose on her, and she's just sweating. So we end up calling the paramedics to come to the ship, and Klaus, the Viking manager, he's in charge of the cruise.
It
The
was
paramedics-
Klaus, not Klaus.
Klaus. It could have been Klaus or Claus. I don't know.
Was his
He was-
first name Santy?
Yeah, he was very
Just-
nice.
Sorry to derail, but this is what we do, you know?
Yeah, it is what we do. It may have been Klaus. I don't know. He was German.
Definitely Klaus.
It's
Klaus. And then,
He
so
has a
anyway,
machine gun.
the paramedics come. There's like 5 of them.
Did he have long, white, blonde hair? And did he carry like a little machine gun? And
No, he was balding. And
Oh,
he
okay,
was,
okay.
Older, probably my age. Because to be fair,
Picturing the guy from Die Hard.
You're saying is
Yeah.
the paramedic that came to save your wife was older, bald,
no,
and European?
no.
You're
No,
fucked, Jack.
Klaus was older. The paramedics were young because Cindy even said they were good looking. I said, "How could you tell?" They had masks on. She goes, "They had very pretty eyes." And
Well, that's the
I'm just picturing
problem.
Klaus going, "Oh, I made your wife sweat a lot, and her heart got up in the heart."
so anyway, so she's they had the pretty blue eyes and the
Did they have the cat's eye? Because that's a real popular makeup thing now.
I didn't look that closely into their eyes.
She did. She saw the light of God come back to her.
She did. So they take her off the ship. We go to the hospital, which is about 10 minutes away from where the ship was docked. And I'm sitting there. I'm like going, well, how the hell am I going to pay for all this? But Klaus said, "Don't worry, it's not like America.
Yeah, it's free.
It's
all free.
It's not free. No, it's not free, but it's like 3 times less than what it is in the United States." I'm like, okay, I'm adding it up as I go along. I go, okay, in the United States, this would be about $15,000. I go, so I don't have $8,000 on me. I'd have to transfer some things around to get it. I go, we're going to mess our ship because it was taking off at 5:45, and he told me, Klaus said, "Don't worry, you can get a hotel in town, take the train, meet us at the next location." So I'm not stressing out too much. And I had to sit in the waiting room with all the people getting blood tests. In fact, every time I walked out, the security guy would come take me back, and I may have whispered something under my breath that wasn't nice. That happened at World War II people. So
Okay.
Fucking,
you're really starting an international affair.
I did, but I didn't say it loud enough for them to hear it. Okay. There was a language barrier and everything.
So Normandy, baby.
They know that.
That's what he said.
Well, people were trying to talk to me, and I'm like going, I'm American. I don't speak, and I had my mask on. I don't speak, and they would walk away from me, and like I was the invading forces. But the funny thing was they had a TV up, no closed caption, no sound. And I'm watching this because I was there for 4.5 hours, almost 5 hours.
No closed caption, no sound. That's the word.
No sound.
Time out for a second, Jack. So at one point on your vacation, I forgot you're on vacation. I started texting you like you were home.
You did, yeah.
Was it that night?
It was the night before, I think.
Because it would have been severely late at the time I was texting you.
You were texting me about the game. Right?
Yeah, it was way back when they were still in it.
Yeah, I think I might have been taking a dump at that point. So, and I had my phone. I go, what the fuck does Chris want? Jesus Christ! So anyway, I'm watching this show, and it's about a young girl, and she's with an old guy and a young guy, and the editing was like really quick. I'm like going, what the fuck is? So I'm watching this thing for like an hour and a half.
Directed by Roman Polanski.
It might have been. And at the end, she's with the old guy and she's horseback riding. She falls off the horse and is laying there. I go, well, she died. Well, no, then at the end, she leaves with the young guy. So I don't know if it was just a dream. I don't know. I don't know. It was.
You'll never know.
I'll never know because I don't even know what it was called.
Kind of like this beautiful poem that was happening right in front of you. While all this turmoil, you had
How
the
about
experiences.
Cindy? Well, is she okay for fuck's sake?
No. Let's get back to like what era are we talking about? 1950s.
It was
foreign.
No, it was like the 1800s.
Uh-huh.
Oh, time
Germany
in the movie
before they started all the wars.
Right.
I think I don't know. But it was Cindy. I couldn't go back. They said, "No, you must stay behind there. No, don't come through here." And I said, "Okay."
That's the last time you saw a period piece movie from Germany, aside from the 1940s.
That was probably my first one.
It's a German movie.
Rochelle?
Chris Gordon, was it Rochelle? It was Rochelle the musical. If people don't that's a Seinfeld quote.
I don't know what that is. Oh, Seinfeld. Yeah.
So anyway, then Cindy starts texting me. Because have they told you anything? I said, no. I go, they come out here and I stand up to talk to them and they go, German. And I'm like going, Schnell. Maybe they saw the last name and said, okay, he speaks German. He's German because of the last name. And I'm like going, No. I'm just your average, American.
Scheiße.
Yeah.
They took one look at your ball cap and they were like, American.
I don't think I had a ball cap on. I didn't have a ball cap on. I just had my mask that the
okay.
paramedics gave me. I got to ride in the front. I
figured he'd be rocking it, like he always does.
It was one of those things where we had to bolt out of there. I mean, right away.
Oh.
And so, so then finally, Cindy, one doctor says no heart attack. The other doctor says you need to stay till Tuesday. And he goes, well, you have insurance. And Cindy goes, well, yeah, but I don't want to stay till Tuesday if there's nothing wrong with me. And so they're going back and forth. And the problem was they couldn't relay, even when they were trying to relay to me what was wrong with her, they couldn't do it in the medical terms. They had people who could speak English, but not enough to say, give you the ins and out. So the lady that was in charge of, because Cindy had to give her passport up. Oh, you can't leave without paying. So I'm sitting there, I'm tallying it all in my head. I go, this is going to be about $8,000. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, because it's 3 times less than what it is in America. I mean, this thing would have been about $15,000 to $20,000 for a 5-hour visit emergency room with, everything that was attached to it. And she comes up to me and she's really afraid. She goes, and her English wasn't really good. She goes, it'll be 350 euros. I go, ooh, okay. I go, okay. She goes, no. I go, you have to pay. I go, okay, I'll pay it now. Because I was thinking, it's going to be thousands of dollars. I go,
right.
And so she brought someone else over to me, and I go, yeah, I got it. It's 300 euros. I got it. Card? Do you take the card? Yes. So now the key is to get Cindy checked out to get back to the boat before it leaves.
So you missed a key opportunity here, Jack. I if I were you, I would have feigned an injury. So you have to run a battery of tests on me to make sure I was good, and that way I could get the best quality care at the lowest possible price before we went back to stateside. You missed out.
We paid a lot for the trip, so you want to enjoy the trip too.
That's fair. Okay, fine.
Okay.
and they're trying to get back to that ship because there's probably an episode of Seinfeld that's gone.
And I was like saying, okay, whatever you want to do. If you don't feel you need, you can stay here. I'll find a hotel and so now I got to find a cab. And Klaus suggested Klaus. My sister was really good. And my brother-in-law were helping out. And they suggested they found the cab number. They said, you need to find someone that speaks German because they're not going to understand you to order a cab. I said, can we get the cab? So I got somebody to order the cab. And literally you have 25 minutes to get to the boat now. And we're 10 minutes away. The cab driver finally shows up. I can hear
the Ferris Bueller music.
Yeah, she finally shows up. Oh yeah. She finally shows up. She turns around and we're like, we need Snell. We need to go fast. She was saying, and everyone is cutting her off, and she is screaming. I wish I spoke German because she is just screaming at these people in German. And we're almost at the boat, and this motorcycle cuts in front of her.
Oh shit!
And we missed the light. And my brother-in-law calls me, "Are you here?" I go, "We're literally at the light. I can see the boat." But I knew Cindy couldn't get out and run, so I said, "Yeah, just stall him if you have to." I thought she was going to get out and kill this guy on the motorcycle. She was just, I go, it's okay. Don't get, I don't know if he has a gun.
Cindy was going to get out?
No. The cab driver.
The cab driver. Oh,
she was pissed.
Man.
And so, but she got us there with 4 minutes to spare. I just gave her 30 euros for the cab ride. It was, and I said, no, take it. You got us here, and we got on the.
I feel like this is your episode of The Amazing Race.
That's kind of awesome.
It was like The Amazing Race where you're trying to get to a certain place. And then at the end of the trip, trying to get back, I'm not even going to go into that.
Maybe we can save that for the bonus episode.
Yeah, I'll save that for the bonus episode. Trying to get back from Hungary to America. Thanks, Boston, for fucking us up.
Did you fly into Boston?
We were supposed to. We landed in Amsterdam. They said, "Oh, your flight's canceled."
No. Sucks.
Anyway, I'll talk about that.
I could have hooked you up.
It was a great. Overall, it was a great trip. The food. Cindy didn't eat. We took a bike ride through Vienna.
What?
Which
So
was really
we
nice.
went Lower Germany, Austria, and Hungary.
We went to we landed in Munich, went to Rissenberg, went to what was another German place. Drawing a blank on it. Then we went to
Nuremberg.
no, it
Wiener
wasn't
Schnitzel?
no, it wasn't.
Schnitzel?
Nah, I don't know.
Dusseldorf?
Went to
I know
another
you went-
German place and went to two
Smurf
places
Village?
in
I know
Austria.
you went to Schall's. I can't say it right.
Well, if you can't say it
Mozart's
right.
home.
What?
Mozart's home.
No.
Salzburg.
No, it wasn't Salzburg.
Okay.
But anyway, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. The bike ride was amazing. Going through Vienna was it was foggy, and a lot of the other bike riders were going 100 miles an hour because it was
There
one
were
of those
zombies, but
yes,
it was
there were zombies. It was
romantic.
one of those e-bikes, so it made it a lot easier. To pedal.
Oh, nice. No, I mean that sounds really kind of awesome.
It was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it, except for the hospital visit and the flight.
Yeah, that would be really terrifying.
Yeah.
Because you're out of your element, and then you're like, what?
And Cindy hated it because she's getting off. She's being carried off the boat by these good-looking, paramedics, and of course she's
Did
like,
they welcome her back?
A lot of people were like, are you okay? Because everybody on the boat, I mean, Cindy and I were probably almost the youngest there.
Really?
But, probably the average age was probably about 65, 70. And we met a great couple that was, they were fun to hang around with and stuff like that. Everybody on the boat was really nice, except they put life jackets, and you have to put the life jackets on. They do a drill.
Oh,
And
okay.
with all these old people, I said, we're gonna die. You can't get by them. They're
No, you'd have been fine. They're easy to push or in fight. Okay,
you George Costanza, just push them out of the way.
Women and children first, Jack. And if you're the youngest person on the boat, you're the children.
Yeah, and they always insisted on cutting in front of you when they couldn't walk more than like a step every 2 minutes. You're like, going, it's okay, it's okay, it's we're all gonna eat. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
But no, it was a good time. If you have a chance, take the cruise.
See, I would be totally interested in doing one of those cruises to like a really cool destination. Like whether it's doing an Alaskan cruise or going to Scandinavian cruise, something like that. I feel like every other cruise in my brain, I feel like is like spring break for 70-year-olds. Like I fear going. You know what I mean?
You know
like,
what would be really fun though, Chris, is going with somebody like you. Like if you planned it out with
yeah.
Where
that was very nice of you to say, like me,
like you. So
Well, the problem with Chris is he'd be punching all the old people.
that's what I said, like you.
But the thing is, I
like
appreciate that.
If you had some other young people that were hanging out, and
Is
you
it
were
fucking meowsers, dude?
yeah,
Yep,
I don't know.
is.
What is he doing? What is he doing?
What's he doing?
I don't know.
He's
That
in the yard.
looking for?
He's in
You know
the
what he's looking
yard.
for?
Yeah.
He's looking for a commercial break.
he's
Oh.
what a tease.
He did leave.
So you didn't answer our question, Jack. Did you get to bludgeon somebody with a club?
I did not get to bludgeon anyone.
It's false advertising.
It was one of those, weak, passive aggressive, passive, Viking cruises. It's, all the old people. We'd already done our, we've already raped and pillaged enough. So it's like
On their way to
But
Valhalla.
But only one time did I feel the boat kind of rock. That's when you're going through one of the locks.
Mm.
Oh.
That was the only time I felt it. But
I think Klaus was in the next room.
the food was. I mean, I tried schnitzel.
Yeah, schnitzel can be good.
Schnitzel.
Yeah.
I had never had it before.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh my God, this is great."
Really? Because I've always heard snitchels get stitches. I fucked up that joke.
But it only costs you like €1 to get those done, so it's all good.
Yeah.
All the stitches you need in Europe.
And I tried different. They had different soups, and they even had a left side of the menu, which was American food. It was
Wait,
like steak,
whoa!
chicken.
The left side?
The left
The
side.
menu? The left
menu.
side. Huh.
The right side was strictly whatever the city you were in.
Oh, but the left side was
The left
American.
side was American,
Huh. Interesting.
like hamburgers and
Which is German.
yeah,
Hamburger.
But when you think hamburger,
Tacos.
you think American. They didn't have tacos.
The American side was hamburgers, tacos, French fries, and
General Gao's chicken.
Pizza.
yeah,
Pizza.
General Tso's chicken. That's what I was thinking. I was gonna say chop
We
suey.
fucking
but
suck.
yeah.
We're like the worst we're the worst country like from a culinary standpoint. Our food is
No, that would be
steal
England.
from everybody else.
Our food is
I
like our
did-
language. It rapes and pillages.
I did find it funny. You go to these churches overseas, and they're just huge. They're mammoth, and they were built 1,000 years ago. And so the whole time I'm thinking, I go, all right, here's these churches, and they're built, just like there's gold in them, all this different stuff. Meantime, the people outside are starving and dying.
Exactly.
And what's changed? What's changed in the 500 years since they were?
Well, nothing. I said you have the castles where the rich people stay.
Yeah, I mean,
And you have the churches where I'm not. It was mostly Catholic churches, but it wasn't all Catholic churches, but most of them were. I said, yeah. In the meantime, the people in the streets were like, feed us, feed us, feed us. You're a sinner. You're dying because God wants you to die. That's
so
what I
true.
got out of it. That's
It's so true. Like the first church you go into, you're like, "This is so beautiful. This is so cool. Look at all the artwork. Look at all the woodwork. And then it quickly wears off. And like the third and fourth one you go in, you're like, "Fuck, these guys are assholes." I mean, like,
Yeah. I mean, they're mammoth. I mean, they're just
hell, I
ridiculous.
was just rollering and painting my ceiling in my dining room this weekend, and I was like, "Fuck this shit!" Like Michelangelo, God love you, man.
Yeah,
but
and
Jesus.
it's like in every church you looked up,
It's
every church or
scaffolding, though.
castle had
It's
all that.
It changes everything. So much easier.
He had and there were numbers up there so you knew what paint to use.
Well, he did use a type of cartooning in which he stenciled out the shape. So down below he would have the drawing, and then he would go up, and then he would pencil it because it was fresco. It's like it's paint with plaster. It's fucking amazing. Like to paint with plaster. It's just anyway.
Paint
sorry.
with plaster.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the grapefruit soda.
Fresca.
Yeah, he was painting with that too. He was like cracking open a fresco while he was painting with fresco.
Fresca is an entirely underrated soft beverage.
Well, it's hard to find.
Is it really?
What's weird is that Fresca
America.
is kind of like
Fresca?
It's kind of like seltzer water. It's
Maybe
like
it's
the
regional.
halfway point between seltzer water and
We have
actual
a few Frescas
sugar
here.
soda.
I just think, first of all, they mixes extremely well with booze. Grapefruit.
Isn't it like Faygo then Fresca, and then Fanta, or is it Faygo Fanta Fresca?
What the hell is a Faygo?
Faygo? You guys have never heard of Faygo before?
No.
That's kind
Okay.
of.
All right.
I'm not
All
going to condone this podcast.
It's called Faygo.
Like you ever have, Jack.
Look, it just didn't survive a lot of.
I'm not familiar with Faygo.
Okay, I'm going to pull up.
Do you remember Shasta?
Yeah.
Yes. Shasta used to be a soda. Yeah, I remember.
And then Fanta?
Fanta, yes. Randy asked if any good beers. Yeah, there were some really good beers I had. I just went with whatever they told me to drink.
Boodlicht.
Das Boot.
Here is my Faygo search. If Jack wants to put that up. So, Faygo. Yeah. I used to drink this.
Oh, I know that.
never-
I know.
I've never seen that.
It's really cheap drink. It's cheap to buy.
Okay, fine. Faygo's cheap. Okay.
No, I'm just saying you can buy it like at Costco for like.
I've never seen
12 cents a
Faygo
can.
What
at
is
Costco.
Red Pop?
Red Pop? Red
Yeah.
Pop? It's
Yeah, so you
Red
had
Pop,
grape
dude.
orange twist and Red Pop.
It's Red Pop. It's what you call the red soda. You just call it Red Pop.
All right.
I think it's a colloquial thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the drink. It's pretty cheap to buy.
Yeah.
Will Fry in the chat says there's a new canned drink called the Long Drink. It's supposedly from Finland, but tastes like Fresca. It's great. It absolutely is, and it crushes because they're 8% per can. They're actually very good. It's a gin based like seltzer drink. It's very much like Fresca.
Mhm.
But be careful. they can smoke you pretty quick. There is a sugar-free version of it too, and the sugar-free version is also awesome.
So wait. What is this called? In case I want to go to my local Total Wine.
Long drink.
The long
Long drink.
Yeah, I think Tuukka Rask, the goalie from the Boston Bruins, actually has like a stake in the business. Former goalie of the Boston Bruins.
Is he from Finland?
He is.
Okay.
I don't know what he's doing now. He retired, but I'm going to pull it up.
Well, if he's a goalie, he's probably a little punchy.
A little bit.
Just saying, you're stopping pucks going 100 miles an hour.
Sometimes you get red popped.
Yep.
Right to the kisser.
Sometimes you get fagoed. So.
Look, I grew up on Fago. It was what was around. I don't know. I don't know if it was just like the region that I grew up or.
I said I never noticed it until a few years ago.
and it was only probably later in life that I was like, Fago's really close to being like a slur.
It is. That's what I thought you were saying at first. But then once you showed the cans, I do know the drink.
Mm-hmm. And then there was like Fanta. Don't
Fanta,
you
yeah.
want that? You know, like the Fanta.
I know Fanta.
It's still
Yeah, I'm
around.
familiar with Fanta.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Fanta.
I noticed in Europe when we were there, it was hard to find a Pepsi. Everything was Coca-Cola.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because my brother-in-law really loves Pepsi, and you couldn't find a Pepsi. It was all Coca-Cola, but he would drink the Coca-Cola.
Pepsi. No Coke, Pepsi.
No Coke, Pepsi.
So yeah,
that was
he
my
is
Europe trip.
co-owner of the Long Drink.
Oh, okay.
Well, we should bring Meowsers back for that commercial break again.
Do we need another commercial break?
No, just
Randy says Fanta is big all over the world. He should know he's a world traveler. Travels everywhere.
I did not know that about Fanta.
Did you guys, and this might be, did you guys like who won the World Series? I know Chris Doran's in the chat, but
I have not seen that movie.
I do like how Ted Cruz got completely owned at their parade.
What is Ted Cruz even doing there?
They were throwing shit at him. It got pretty bad.
I mean, he has to know that people don't like him, right? I mean, are you just at a blip? I mean, he went to a game with his poor daughter, and he was probably getting cussed at and sweared at. I mean,
in New York.
No, he came
to New York. He came to New York as well.
He was in Philly, though. No, he was in Houston. And people said that he was being yelled at in Houston with his poor daughter sitting there. I'm like going, your daughter doesn't need to put up with that. You're obviously there just for, photo op. Stay home, Ted. Stay home.
Or go to Cancun.
Go to Cancun. Go on vacation. But I personally can't wait for the election to end.
Nick looks fucking thrilled, by the way, to be having this conversation.
I don't know about the rest of you. I can't take any more of these political ads. I can't.
For real.
Because I've been rewatching Mad Men. I started watching on the trip back from London, and they showed the first 5 episodes of Mad Men, season 1. So when I got home, I go, well, I got to keep going. So now I just finished. I'm on the last episode of season 3.
What are you watching it on that's giving you commercials?
It's on Amazon, and it's free whatever it's called. But you have to watch it with commercials, and it's all these political ads. It's like, oh my God, please stop.
I also own the DVDs, but yeah, that's I would not.
I just like
I would never
watched it.
Yeah,
never watched Mad Men.
You never watched Mad Men?
It's Don Draper might be the best character.
Comparable to Nick not watching Breaking Bad.
Well, I think I was in the minority here, but
this is the other AMC show.
Yeah, so. I really loved Breaking Bad, like the first 3 seasons, I think 3 or 4, and then I thought it went downhill like towards the end.
Breaking Bad. Did you watch it?
I don't know. I said Mad Men. Oh, I might have said Breaking
Bad.
I meant
Breaking
Mad
Bad.
Okay.
Yeah, Mad Men. That's what I meant.
I was like, oh shit, he's like ghost watching this and not even telling us.
No,
yeah.
Just taking the jokes every week.
No, Mad Men. I really because I liked all the mystery around Don Draper in the first few seasons, and like him just being just this awful person, and like what's going on there, and you do kind of find out, but then it just kind of eventually it goes on another route, and you're kind of like, oh. And then I just felt it just like I've had some people defend it, but I just didn't like where
Cindy got tired of it at the end. I enjoyed it all the way through, but it's funny. It's been so long since I've watched it. I mean, when it's something I go, oh, that's right, they go this direction. Oh, that's right, this happens. All right, this, and I used to feel sorry for Betty, but Betty was just as bad as Don.
Oh yeah, Betty was it was awful.
So anyway, spoiler alert.
One of my favorite payoffs. I think it's like season 5. I think.
Well, don't tell Chris. He hasn't watched it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not gonna watch it?
You gotta watch it, man. It's good television. It's good television.
I'm sure
You'll binge it.
I'm sure someone out there knows his name, but the actor it's Dumbledore's son. He's like in the later seasons, the British guy. But he buys a Jaguar.
That's my band name, Dumbledore's son.
Yeah, everyone tells him that
Dumbledore's Jaguar is probably going to be the episode title.
There you go.
Everyone tells him that the Jaguar is a lemon, and he shouldn't buy it. And he loves it because he's British, and he wants to have a good car. And he tries to kill himself later on, and he puts the hose in the tailpipe, puts it in, and then like when he does it, he can't start the car because it's a lemon. And I was like, thank you, Jared Harris. And
that's statistically funny.
It is, but it's just one of those things where like it's a payoff, and that they keep railing him that this car was a piece of shit, and then sure enough, he's proven right. And then he saved his life. It saved his life.
What I love about it is like they show how things were back in the 60s.
Yeah.
Like we really didn't care about litter. Littering.
Yeah.
They show the Drapers going on a picnic with their 2 kids. And as they leave, Betty takes the picnic blanket and flips all the trash, and they leave all the Don's throwing his beer cans everywhere, and they leave because that's just how it was. People just went, fuck it. We're going to leave a mess. Yeah. And the smoking, by the way. The smoking that goes on is like everywhere. smoking after smoking.
Yeah.
But if you haven't seen it, Chris, I think it's up there with The West Wing.
I think the production of Mad Men is top notch, and getting the period right. And that
don't listen to anything that Nick says about it.
It's true, but no, I remember like looking at Betty's kitchen. And Don's house, and that was my grandparents' house. I mean, the detail, the pastel oven, and then the wooden cabinets, the old wood cabinets with the black handles. Like that is totally 1950s. That is my grandparents' house,
and that's one of the brilliant things about the production and the set stuff throughout the whole show is that even though it's taking place in 1960, they're looking at 1950s stuff,
right?
So it's like it'll be 1963, and they're still looking at stuff from 1959 because that stuff's still around and still would influence that time. They're not just saying, "Okay, we're going with the newest thing," right. Which always doesn't feel of the period.
Yeah, he's like there's a picture on Facebook somewhere where it's like kids today when they think of the 80s, they think all these rad colors and like all this stuff, and it's like. This is what you think the 80s were. It's like, this is what I think the 80s were. It's just all just brown. It's like, yes, like that's the 80s. Just just boring shit. Yeah, you couldn't afford all that stuff.
Because we had bright couches, flower patterns. It was just like you walk in, and my mom and dad bought their house in 62, I think 63, but it was built in 57 or something like that. It had the aqua green oven, the aqua green stove, it was, and the kitchen was like, smaller than this room I'm in right now. And it's still, my mom still lives there. It's still that size. I mean, it's just a small little.
It only has one oven, right? No double.
It has one. It doesn't have a double oven. No. I was brought up on a single. Jesus. I was brought up on a single oven, and that's the way I'm going to die.
Way to keep it that way.
I just read the chat.
My comment or
your comment?
Miami Mike?
No, the private chat.
Oh, the private chat about the Nazis.
But
way to keep it private.
Fanta is for Nazis. That's what it might have said. But anyway, no, but that's what's so good about Mad Men is, and it's very sexist. I mean, because that's just the way women when they went to work. It was, I'm telling you, Chris, you will get hooked and you'll
All
want
right,
to
at
watch.
some
It is
point
very
I'll
good,
watch it.
yeah.
There's
It
like
is
so
very
many
good.
fucking shows I haven't caught up on.
But I'm telling you, because
I've been watching. I've been recently watching Avenue 5 because the new
Oh, yeah, I've seen
second
that.
season,
Yeah,
second
premiere.
season
I
just
have seen it
dropped on
advertised.
I've been watching
HBO.
Clark Bar.
Clark Bar.
Is an Avenue a candy bar?
Oh no, yeah. I'm not wild about the title of the show Avenue 5. And for anybody else that's watched this show specifically, they do this thing in the soundtrack which lifts the energy up, and it always makes it feel really, really super intense. And then usually it's no big deal. But it's like it's the way the music is. It's like this Hans Zimmer level kind of like distortion that's going on in the background, and you're like, "What the fuck's about ready to go down?" And then it's resolved in the next episode, and then they've got another, huge. But I like the cast. I like the direction of where the show goes. It's weird, and it's got some funny.
What's it on?
It's on HBO. So,
HBO. It's
yeah,
called Avenue what?
Avenue 5. It's a sitcom. There's only, I think, 8 episodes for the first season, and the new season just dropped. So there's probably like 4 episodes
I've
out.
never even heard of it.
It's got shit. Now I can't think of it. So I'll look it up. I'll look it up here, as I Bones, the guy from that played Bones, right? I think he's on it. So
okay. Schaefer?
No, Hugh.
Oh, Hugh Laurie.
Yeah, Hugh Laurie. So he's one of the main.
I beat you to it, Matt.
he has the delay though. He has like a 5-second delay.
But I didn't see it until after I said it, and he popped up. So there you go, Matt. I beat you.
Josh Gad.
Who's Bones?
So it was a show.
Yeah, wasn't he Bones?
You mean House MD?
Oh, House MD. Sorry,
No, Bones
was you all knew what he's talking about. Like who's
Bones was Craig Schaefer, I think.
Okay, well, Bones and House.
Born in York, Pennsylvania.
I'm sorry for those people that watch those shows. Bones and House are the same show to me. Like in my mind,
one's a detective show, one's a doctor show. So
yeah, they seem both
I
like
no
doctor.
The doctor show or the detective show.
Doctor House.
I never watch it, but I just know that the guy was born in the same city I was.
Again, apologies. I just lump those two together. I think in my mind. Same with
now Matt Treese is just throwing out a bunch of names. I don't even know what he's talking about. So.
All right. Well, anyway, I enjoyed that show. It's recently.
I'm just gonna type some names. I'm just kidding. Bones.
House. Yeah, they're one-word shows.
Damn it, man! I'm a doctor.
They're procedural things with, I don't know, stodgy people.
Stodgy.
Bones is played by what's his name from The Boys? Dr. Bones.
Yes.
Oh,
Carl Urban.
It's
Carl Urban, I think, is one of the most
versatile.
He's underappreciated as an actor because he's been acting for over 20 years, and there's some people that really know who he is, and there's some people who are like, I have no idea who that is, and you're like, dude, he's been fucking everything. He's good in everything.
Did you watch that show he had where it was a sci-fi show where the robots and stuff like that?
Yes, I was literally just looking that up on the side. I
love that show. And Cindy, it was a show Cindy and I both liked, and it had what's her name from Friday Night Lights.
What the hell was that show called?
What was her name? Matt, what's her name?
Well, Matt Treese is mentioning Zoe's sister from the show Bones, and yes, Emily Deschanel is Zoe Deschanel's sister.
Deschanel.
Almost Human,
which was a great, and it didn't do well, and nobody watched it. So it
was because it was more human than human.
Ooh,
it was a really good show, and it had what's her name from Friday Night Lights. She dated what's the guy that was hosted the Daily Show?
Jon Stewart.
Nora Dunn.
No, not Nor Dunn.
I'm just throwing out names now because
What's the guy? He hosted?
he's
He was
the
dating her for a
guy,
while.
man.
Trevor Noah was dating her for a while.
Oh, Minka Kelly.
I didn't know that.
Monica Kelly, yes, she
Minka
was also
Kelly.
hot.
She's
He-
amazing.
Yeah,
he
which was reason enough to watch the show. Yeah, you came up. Matt beat you. I'm sorry, Matt. You lose points because Chris beat you to that.
I don't know. Chris, we all lose.
Not
points because
you. The other
Chris
Matt.
looks amazing in his lighting tonight. I mean,
Oh, I thank you. Thanks
yeah,
very much.
you look.
But yeah, Almost Human was a show that I was so pissed it got canceled.
Yeah, other
Not
shows.
not as pissed as The Grinder, the one with Rob Lowe and Fred Savage.
Or
That show
Terriers, which was another really
Terriers
good show.
was another great show.
Yeah, the guy.
But again, I think
horrible
the one time-
names.
the one time Jay was right. It was the name that ruined that show because because when I go, wait, what is it about dogs?
I
goes,
feel
"No,
the
it's a
same way with Avenue 5. It's a horrible name for that show.
It's like same. I brought it before, like on Amazon. There's only one season. It's called Utopia, and it has nothing to do with Utopia, but it's a great show. It's like you should have. It's because it was a BBC show and it was called Utopia, but like
Fucking Brits.
It's so good. Like it's like
Most utopias slide into a dystopia anyway. So
it's about it's just about a virus, and it's good. It's a really good.
My
show.
kids were arguing utopia versus dystopia, and they won't get the fuck over it. My kids are like 15 and 12, and they're arguing dystopia versus utopia.
Oh, wait, what was?
And it's just driving me crazy. I'm like, what the fuck?
What the meaning or which
the
would you rather
meaning?
live in?
Yes, and I'm just like, at this
Did you
point,
say,
I'm like,
hey, kids, Google?
I'm like, look, I don't care because they're like, well, my teacher said that, and this, and I was taught that, and I'm like, guys, let it go. Doesn't matter.
You have to be honest with them. Sometimes teachers are wrong.
Well, it just my son, he just complains so much.
Speaking of canceled shows, Westworld.
Sorry,
I forgot about Utopia. That was a cool show. I'm sorry. You gave me a whole memory unlock. That I completely forgot about that television show.
Which one?
That was
the British version or the British version or the Amazon version?
The Amazon version.
It's so good. It came out like a year or two ago.
So the Amazon version's better than the British version?
I never seen. You can watch them both. The British version's 2 seasons because like a lot of British shows they do.
Usually the British version is better.
But
usually the British version
season one,
Yeah.
it's only one season, and they ended it and they canceled it because there wasn't enough people watching it. But the Amazon version with John Cusack and like there's a lot of people. It's really fucking good.
It's really fucking good. Yeah.
I know you said it. I know you said it.
Ray Wilson's in it.
I think Prime just has that uphill battle as far as being like a deliverer of TV, and movies,
That was such a good show.
Yeah.
I gotta watch it because
the memory was completely removed from my head until right now. I completely forgot I ever watched that show. That was a really
you could almost say that it was
Severance. They say, stoner.
Yeah, guilty.
Yeah. And then, like I said, Westworld's canceled. Shocking.
I never finished. I never finished season 4.
I never even started season 4.
I said, nobody wanted to podcast about it. I said, okay, I'm cool.
Yeah, the Aaron Paul season, whichever one that was, I watched like 15 minutes of the first.
Well,
episode.
he's 3 and 4, isn't he?
Well, you know what was hard about that season though, Chris, is that it came out right as the pandemic was hitting. And I remember there were some episodes where I was like, I'm living through this fucking shit going on right now. I don't need more of this.
Remember, there were people wearing masks.
I do remember that. And that was all forward thinking and cool and shit. But I was like, I need something lighthearted and happy right now. I need Tiger King,
Yeah, I need Tiger King.
So
Matt says, shocking to who? I don't know who that actor is.
I think Mike brings up a good point that I should have brought up. Great shows that are canceled. Pan Am.
Pan Am is an amazing show.
Pour one out for our homies.
Yeah, Pan Am.
Speaking of planes, I haven't started yet, but final season of Manifest dropped.
What?
Yep.
Fuck, it's another show I gotta watch.
Yep.
No, watch Mad Men before you watch Manifest. It is so much
I don't
better.
think it's gonna happen. I think Manifest is gonna get my attention.
Or hear me out.
I want to know what's up with the fucking glowy book, dude. I want to know what's gonna happen.
The glowy. Hey, I gotta ask this question. I know in this chat, I mean, the four of us, but anyone in the chat, is anybody else watching La Brea? Am I the only one hate watching it?
I'm watching
You're the only
it.
one watching
I'm
it.
hate watching it.
Are you watching it?
Yeah.
Are you caught up?
I'm one behind
Yeah,
because
man,
I watch Quantum Leap and then I watch La Brea. Those are my two
Okay,
NBC shows.
I fell behind on Quantum Leap because I couldn't stream a lot of shows on the cruise.
Okay, there was I think you're only behind one episode.
Not two. I looked it up.
Okay.
I'm too behind.
There's an Exorcism one that was kind of freaky, but it's good. It's good shit.
But what bothers me about La Brea is there's no way they can land this. Every fucking week, there's a different twist that they just go, hey, what if we did this?
Their story is right checks.
What if we did this? What if we did this? And they're to the point, there's no way, there is no fucking way.
I like how Matt Tree says, who has time to hate watch anymore? That's a good, fair point.
You know, sometimes, Matt, you just need to hate.
But, you know, if it hadn't have been for COVID, I think Manifest would have been good. Because, like, it was at that period where nothing
Manifest was never good.
Nothing. Manifest was horrible. But it was at that period.
Don't talk trash about Manifest.
You know it's horrible. We both
so bad.
I watched like the first two or three episodes. Sydney watched the whole first season.
But here's the thing: it's so bad, but I'm not hate watching it.
Yeah,
I'm like along for the fucking shitty ride. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to know what happens at this point. I don't hate the show. I actually enjoy watching it.
Okay, well,
Brea is all about time travel, and they're going this way with this. I'm like going.
And by the way, Jack, did you notice that La Brea just happened to like, oh, we're gonna dump these two teenagers into the 80s, just like Stranger Things?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Like I was like, come on.
And like, it's like the one kid looks like Rick Dees. I mean, I even looked it up. I thought he was Rick Dees. If you don't know who he is, he wrote Disco Duck.
Mm-hmm.
He was a DJ in LA. He looks just like a younger Rick Dees, but
I could see that.
I don't want to say their acting is terrible, but the acting is terrible, and just I don't care about the story. And then they just put this other twist. Oh, I'm your grandma. I'm your this. I'm like going, oh, please stop. Please stop with it.
At least the Quantum Leap episode. For me, the Quantum Leap is treading above this threshold of La Brea, and I'm just hoping that it continues to keep my entertainment.
I kind of like Quantum Leap. I'm
digging it. I'm digging it. I'm a little down on some of the acting. Like again, my biggest criticism.
The acting is kind of weak.
They could have spent more on their actors.
Dude, you're coming off of Scott Bakula.
Well,
no.
It's your source material. But...
Okay, I looked it up.
But you haven't watched it yet?
No, I haven't.
The girlfriend.
Yes.
She's never acted before. I mean, she didn't
shocking. Shocking. But
she's working cheap. That's what.
And
because the star's pretty good.
Okay, yeah. No, I think he's got some chops, and they put.
But they put the one.
Okay,
the one person who's supposed to be what was the actor? He was in BSG, and he was the guy that followed Scott Bakula around. What was his name?
Al, yeah.
Yeah, but what was the actor's name? Matt Trees?
Dean Stockwell.
Dean Stockwell.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, you go from Dean Stockwell
Dune
to this girl, and it's like,
okay,
she's just not very good.
Okay, okay, I don't want to spoil Chris on anything, and I don't feel it's spoilers, but they haven't mentioned anybody in the imaging chamber at all. And that was something that they at least established with the old series. Now, in the old series, they didn't talk about the imaging chamber for a while, but essentially the person that is the psychological person that he leaps into, they actually leap into Scott Bakula's body. You know, well, in the original series. So in this series, I would assume that they're also leaping into Ben's body. That's the main character's name in this show. This series. They haven't shown us that, which to me, I think would be an interesting, aspect for them to travel down. So that's something that I wouldn't be surprised if they don't do But I also noticed that on Sunday Night Football they were advertising that this is like the fall break. So the fall break's coming up.
It's new fall break, yeah.
Fall break's coming up. So if you haven't watched Quantum Leap yet and you're interested,
it's a fun show.
You could definitely binge watch and then know that, like, okay, there's a fall break and they're probably not going to pick this show back up till January. But
I think it got picked. I think it did get picked up for a second season.
It did, and so I'm excited that it'll have a little bit more legs to it.
But
so.
you definitely could tell they film it on a set.
Yeah, but
I mean, it's not filmed on it's
and
filmed
they're pulling from their NBC, barnyard.
It would have been much better if they would have put it on Netflix.
Sure.
Or HBO
for sure, but NBC
it's one of those shows. It's one of those shows where it should have been on a cable network show. Or
I'll take what I can get at this point.
Where they're going to put some effort into it,
right?
Anyone watching Big Mouth?
I haven't caught up with Big Mouth.
Nick, do you want to take that?
Well, is it because you know that Nick is such a huge Nick Kroll fan? Is that why? Is it
yeah, I think.
Really? Oh, okay. It was the Nick and Nick connection. So,
anyway, Nick was silent for a while. Figured he might want to have some.
I finished. I mentioned it once before, like The Patient with Steve Carell on Hulu.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay,
right.
Yeah.
It's done now. It's not a happy show.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good thing to know.
So the setup is.
So he dies?
I'm not going to tell you that.
Well, you said it's a patient and it's not happy.
Well, no, it's good. It's because he's a psychiatrist.
Or is this a Steve Martin situation here?
No, like so the premise of the show is he's a psychiatrist and this guy comes in. You'll recognize him. He's General Hux from the Star Wars.
Domhnall Gleeson.
Yeah, thank you. And he's a serial killer.
Oh.
He's a serial
That's on Black Mirror.
And
one episode of Black Mirror.
And he basically kidnaps Steve Carell and keeps him chained in his basement because he wants to get better and not kill people. And it's an interesting.
Well, that's not that. I'm not a psychiatrist, but that's not a good start.
It's not a good start.
That's not a good start to have someone chained in your basement because you don't want to kill somebody.
It has all the Stockholm feels that you really want.
Yeah.
Is there a Christmas episode in the show? Like
Thanksgiving
episode?
Did he say, okay, Yankee? Did he say Yankee Christmas? What was it?
Yankee what? Christmas?
What was it? What was Christmas up? Yankee Swap or whatever.
Yeah, Yankee Swap. Is there a Yankee Swap episode?
But if you got time,
is there like a turkey on the head Friends reference?
Yeah. Did he?
We're going into the holidays. I'm just trying.
Did he say something about Dwight when he was changed?
Yeah. I mean, it's good. It's well acted.
Is he the assistant to the assistant psychiatrist?
Brendan. Yeah, for real. Matt's got it right. Yeah, feel good show of the year, that's for sure. And Matt's right. Also, it's Brendan Gleeson's son. And speaking of Brendan Gleeson, I also went to the show.
Wait, what?
You didn't know that? Yeah, Mad-Eyed Mooney guy from.
Shut the fuck up! Really?
Yeah, they look just alike. Yeah.
Jackie Gleason?
No, Brendan Gleeson. The guy that played Mad-Eye Mooney. He was also in Braveheart. He was Mel Gibson's best friend in Braveheart.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he's played lots of roles. And I just saw him as well in Colin Farrell in a movie called The Banshees of Inisherin.
Oh, you saw that?
Yeah. If you're a big fan of 3 Billboards from Ebbing, Missouri, and the other film that got directed, In Bruges, then you'll probably like it.
Oh yeah, I like In Bruges. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's kind of like Colin Farrell and his team up again to doing the movie.
Is that a good movie?
It's good.
I like how we keep coming in on this.
Well, I'm talking about one with Colin Farrell where the guy won't talk to him.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Tree
what
says that looks like the most Irish movie ever made. That's fine.
It's definitely the most Northern Irish movie ever made, and that the accent's not the typical, like it's the high pitch like fact. It's the fact you did. Yeah, it's all the
Leave it to Nick to separate out the Irish from Northern and Southern.
Well, I am Irish. Fucker.
So you're allowed to criticize him.
Yeah.
Nick, have a few beers.
Yeah. It's
Lighten up, Francis. There's Southern and Northern Irish.
Yeah.
You know, Catholic and Protestant.
I wanted to see that movie.
yeah.
Mm.
It's
In Bruges. I loved In Bruges.
it's definitely got some moments of humor in it, but it's also a very serious movie, and that like it's yeah
Do I have to read?
No.
This is Nick's feel good moments of 2022.
If it's an Irish movie, I probably won't understand them anyway.
Going
I mean,
from locked up in the
it's-
basement with your psychiatrist.
There's
to,
subtitles involved or something.
I mean, it's kind of a sad movie, but it's a good movie. It'll definitely.
But that's bullshit because on the previews they make it sound like it's going to be a comedy.
It's not a comedy. No.
Well, that's bullshit. That's false
It's
advertising.
a feel
No,
good comedy.
it's
of-
exact-
Fuck it. Fuck it. I'm going to watch Manifest instead.
Yeah.
Jack, have you seen In Bruges?
I have not.
Well, In Bruges is like the funnier version of this movie. It sounds like.
Yeah. In Bruges has got some fucking funny parts.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
The whole fat family going up the tower, and then him insulting
That was on my trip.
Voldemort there at the end. I was like, look, I mean no offense, but you're a fucking cunt. It's so
Yeah,
good.
Jack, you should watch. I might rewatch In Bruges because that's a fantastic movie.
You're going to watch that and not watch Mad Men?
Sure.
I need to track down. I bet I don't have a copy of that anymore. I thought
It's
I did.
called what? In Bruges?
In Bruges.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's
little
been
town
a while
in
since I've
Belgium.
seen it.
It's a little town.
Little town in Belgium.
It's like a
Okay.
fucking fairy tale.
Fucking fairy tale.
Yeah.
Fucking fairy tale.
All the castles and the
The castles and the gremlins and everything like that. Are gremlins Irish?
Bruges is
What?
Bruges.
No, gremlins are aliens.
No, gremlins.
Yeah,
are,
they're gremlins. They're aliens.
It was a car.
No, like gremlins. I'm
Wait,
pretty
did we
sure
ever
they're.
get the origin story of the Gremlin?
The car?
No, the movie. The
Oh.
aliens.
They're clearly aliens, right?
I mean,
like-
are they?
Well, you had the gremlins in the Twilight Zone with William Shatner
And the
that's-
gremlins
I
and
was
the Bugs
gonna bring
Bunny
that up.
and the
and
Bugs
Bugs Bunny. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
mhm.
where
If you
the
get-
plane. Spoiler alert: the plane lands just before it crashes.
It runs out of gas. It doesn't land.
That's right. That's right.
Runs out of
Ran out
gas,
of gas.
yeah.
Ran out of gas.
Have you guys ever noticed
Dude,
that
the
on a
last
plane?
2 minutes of this show have been the most audible representation of ADHD I've ever heard in my fucking entire life.
Welcome to the
We just went through
Ramblecast.
78 non-sequitur topics in a matter of 5 minutes. It was amazing, by the way.
Well, it happens.
Yeah, have you guys ever noticed that on a plane? Like if you're on the port side, right above the wing, you have a little black triangle above the window.
Yes.
It's called the Shatner seat for that reason.
Really?
What is it? There's a little triangle on the window.
No, if you're on an airplane, look.
Uh-huh.
If you're like boarding, look on the right side of the port side, above the window that has the best view of the wing.
Of the
has a little
wing.
has a little black triangle above the window.
On
that's
every
called-
plane.
Not
Are
on
you
every
shitting me,
plane,
Clark?
but a lot of them. And it's just a little black triangle. All you got to do is Google it. Just Google Shatner seat, airplane.
I've seen
Shatner
that on a
seat,
plane
and
before.
Yeah, and that's what it is.
I have never paid attention to that. I've
Mm.
never noticed that. I'm just
Yeah.
more concerned about getting the peanuts and pretzels. But
The peanuts. and
You can't have peanuts on an airplane anymore.
that's right, because someone might be allergic to them. So instead, give me some stale pretzels.
Look,
Nom,
why
nom,
are
nom,
you
nom.
shitting on the people that are allergic to peanuts?
Why do I have to suffer?
Because they might die. Okay, they might die.
Well, then you know what? Take a bus.
What?
I apologize in advance if any of our listeners suffer from peanut allergies that may kill them.
Another good movie I watched yesterday. Another good feel good movie. Is they did a remake of All Quiet on the Western Front on Netflix.
Oh, did they?
It's actually quite good.
It was pretty noisy on the Western Front, though, wasn't it?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
But
Eastern Front you're thinking about.
Oh, maybe so.
Yeah. Mhm. The Western front totally quiet. Eastern Front.
Because Schultz
loud
was
as
always
shit.
afraid. Was always being afraid to be sent to the Russian front.
Hmm.
Right? Remember that?
Nobody wants to go to the Russian.
Because he had to write all those Peanuts cartoons.
Exactly.
Schultz.
I got it.
Jazz.
I got it.
Schultz. Okay.
What is this man doing here? Hogan's Heroes.
I feel like I watched.
That's right.
so
Chris never
much-
saw Hogan's Heroes, right?
I feel like I watched so much TV while I was away from you guys, and I remember even finishing shows and being like, "I did that for the RCAD," and then when we have our
You know
show,
what? This is why you have to write it down.
You write it down, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, that's your style, though, Matt. Is that you will say like, watch this show, and then you'll watch like 2 episodes, and then when Jack comes back to it a month later, and you go, "Hey, have you guys finished that show?" You'll go, "Well, yeah, I started it, but you never really finished it."
I don't know if that's
You're
really
getting fucking
So-
called to the mat here. Right?
So, Matt,
I don't
so
really
what
think
you're
that's
saying is Matt's not a finisher.
It's not a finished.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I
Or you
I
just,
disagree.
You like to savor and take his time.
disregard that. I mean, I watched The Bear. I finished the
Sure you did.
The bear was amazing.
the other show about To All
So you don't
Mankind,
remember.
For All Mankind.
That took
The
you a
only
while.
the only
That was
show
pulling
that I had
teeth.
like completely bailed on because it made me fall asleep, narcolepsy in my seat, was the Nazi regime show that you guys wanted me to watch. This propaganda show,
Oh
Man,
yeah,
that
that was a
castle?
good
and
show.
I love Philip K. Dick. Okay, whatever.
that
What?
Man in the High Castle's good. I mean,
But,
season
great
2 and
show.
3 kind of a little bit of a lull, but
Yeah,
it
okay.
finishes
It,
strong.
it finished strong. It got a little, like you said. I agree with Nick. It got a little, but it finished really strong.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I might do a rewatch of it. That's how much I enjoyed it.
It's a really good show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I bet there's
I've
even
been
a Klaus in it.
watching Titans on HBO. So they just dropped a new season of Titans.
I forgot about the Titans.
The
I
Titans,
forgot
yeah.
about 'em. I forgot all about them.
They're
Tinian?
heroes, and
I didn't remember the Titans. I forgot about them. Jesus.
Jesus.
Time to remember them again.
You
Well,
really-
if you've watched
you had-
any of the other
you
seasons,
had to actually construct the humor of your own joke in that.
Well,
way.
I had to because you guys are like going. I don't get it. I don't get it.
You like had to
What
build
did-
it and be like,
what did
here's
he-
my
what did he
reason
say?
for this joke. You had to
I don't
remember.
get it.
Get it?
I don't understand it. I got nowhere else to go.
Jack's face was a combination of Bill Murray and Mickey Rooney from
Wrestler.
Well, you know, Mickey
Just
Rooney
like
was married
Tiffany's.
like 80. He was married like 80 times. Yeah, he was married quite a few times. Mickey.
Oh, really?
He was. What?
Matt
Oh,
gets the
he
joke.
just likes to do that thing.
That was Dana Carvey, like when he met Mickey
Mickey
Rooney.
Rooney.
I'll
Said,
make it.
he was like trying to say something to him, and he was just a little cocky old fucker, and he was like, "I was on the #1 show in the world," and that's what he did. And so, like,
Mickey Rooney was kind of bitter towards the end because he thought that the people that the actors of today that were making so much money should be giving more to the older actors. And I'm saying, well, you know what? Maybe if you weren't married, maybe if you weren't married 45 times,
right?
you would have had some money left. I'm sorry, Mickey. I
Yeah.
get it,
Mm.
but it's not our fault. You were so hard to live with.
I don't feel sorry for actors that get paid a shit ton more than any of us will ever have in our lifetime. But I do feel sorry for some of those early athletes, though. Like
Holy shit, he really fucking married a lot.
yeah,
You think I'm kidding? He did,
yeah.
One,
and he
two,
wasn't
three,
attractive,
four,
but he
five,
got some.
six, seven
He married some good looking women, but he's
wives.
yeah.
I'm Henry VIII.
Wasn't even Ava Gardner one of them? Am I wrong?
His first wife was Ava Gardner.
Ava Gardner.
Oh,
How does Mickey Rooney marry
Yeah.
Ava Gardner?
How does Lou Gehrig get Marilyn Monroe? It just happens.
yep.
It wasn't Lou Gehrig. It was Joe DiMaggio.
I mean, sorry, Joe. Yeah, well, there was. Yeah.
Well, Joe
That's how
DiMaggio
she got
was
Lou
the-
Gehrig disease, and how she died. Don't you guys know?
Yeah. Well,
So-
Marilyn. He was the Yankee. Well, she married that professor guy too.
It's
The
true.
playwright. The playwright.
She was Norma
man.
Jean.
Marvin Miller. Marvin Miller. Not Marvin Miller.
Norman Mailer.
Norma Miller. Norma Mailer. That's it.
Yeah, he nailed it, and then mailed it.
Yeah. So
Return to sender.
but one thing I found out about Joe DiMaggio is that people said you never asked Joe, like players,
about Maryland. Yeah.
like younger players would say, "Hey, what about Marilyn Monroe?" That player never made it on the Yankees. He was when Joe was playing. He got Joe said no, because Joe wasn't a nice guy.
What do you think
Arthur
Joe
Miller,
DiMaggio
thank you.
thought of
Coffee?
Simon and Garfunkel? Like
Turns
was
out
he
all
like
the eyes to you.
was he like, oh man, this song is really catchy, or was he like
He didn't get it. He didn't get it.
I didn't think so. I didn't think he would get it.
He's like,
probably
fuck it,
hated-
I'm
probably
gonna go sell. I'm gonna go sell coffee. Remember, he was Mr. Coffee. Maybe you guys don't remember that, but he was Joe DiMaggio.
No, Arthur Miller. Thank you, Matt Treese, for
Yes, thank you, Matt Treese.
Tropic of Cancer. Arthur Miller, the author who wrote about sex. No wonder she married him.
that one.
That was a Seinfeld episode. Yes.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
Remember when
that's
Jerry?
the book. That's the book that he
didn't return, and Mr. Bookman is the librarian cop that comes after
Mr. Bookman.
It's been in the
Mr.
bathroom.
Bookman. So your name is really Mr. Bookman?
Maybe that's why he became a dentist. So, Prentice.
Anti-dentite.
A lot of Simpsons references today.
No, that was anti-dentite is
Anti-dentite is the
Seinfeld.
Prentice.
What did I say?
Is the
You said
Henry Miller. Thank you, Matt.
I meant
Henry
Seinfeld,
Miller.
sorry.
All right. Well, now we have the final correction on the Millers.
Yes.
It's not Norman Mailer or Arthur Miller. It's Henry Miller, and that will be the last.
How many fucking Millers are there?
There's a lot.
Well,
Jesus Christ.
Remember Dennis Miller when he was good?
yeah, I was about ready to say there's Dennis Miller.
Like, I love Dennis
There's
Miller. I thought he was
Miller
funny.
Time.
Like he was
Reggie
awesome
Miller?
before he went fucking crazy.
Did he go crazy? I don't think he went
I don't
crazy.
know. I mean,
I think he just expresses his opinion like everybody
Chick
else.
chick cheeky boo.
I think what was weird is he was recently on one of the Dana Carvey, David Spade, Fly on the Wall podcasts, and his voice, it's so weird because Dana Carvey always does
Yeah.
Dennis Miller's voice, but Dennis has aged so much now that he actually like has a different sound to his voice. Dana Carvey will actually do the Beatles aged as well. So he'll do an old Paul McCartney, or he'll do an old like Ringo Starr, like me mates and stuff. Like he does this like weird Ringo, like old Ringo. That's kind of cool. They recently had Chevy Chase on one of the episodes.
Really?
Yeah, and that one was wild. Like Chevy, I swear I was like, dude's on some pain meds or some like.
Well,
on
he's 78 because if
He-
you watch, go ahead.
And his wife was on there, and it wasn't until like about an hour through the podcast that like
He realized he was on a podcast.
she mentions that he had a stroke basically, and so there's certain things from his.
Oh, that
'cause
explains.
I thought his speech was off because he sounded a little like he had been drinking. And then when she mentioned that, I was like, oh, he had a stroke. So clearly, like he's
Because have you seen Bill Maher has a YouTube channel where he has guests come on there, and Bill Maher's like he's stoned out of his mind, and he has different people on there, and he had Chevy Chase on there, and I'm like going, God damn, he sounds like they're both fucking stoned. But it's actually pretty good because people just talk and just had Chris Rock on there, and not Chris Rock, Kid Rock. I got my rocks confused.
The Rock, Chris Rock, Kid Rock,
Yeah,
Little Rock,
Dennis Miller. Like this is how these fucking conversations.
Miller Rock,
so
Rocky
anyway,
Road,
Rocky
Rocky Miller
Road.
High Life. I had a few of those this weekend. They were
Rocky
delicious.
Raccoon. You did.
I love Miller High Life in a bottle.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. Champagne of beers.
Champagne of beers. I don't think I've ever heard that, but
Really?
that would be a good.
You've never heard Champagne of beers?
Not for Miller
That's what it's
High Life.
called. The Miller
Is it?
High Life. The Miller High Life. Is
High
called
Life.
the champagne
I
beer.
don't drink it, so I don't know. I never paid attention.
You've never, huh? Okay. Well, I guess we've all learned something today about Fago and Miller High Life and the champagne of.
You know what, Miami Mike. Fuck you.
Everyone always confuses Kid Rock. And
Miami Mike. You know what? Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
You're trying to get highfalutin on him. So
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
maybe Randy. Yes, including Will
What, you
Smith.
fart? What are you doing?
I think Will.
No, I'm
Smith
slapping
probably
'cause Will
was
Smith.
very confused. He was like, "Kid Rock better stop talking about my wife."
Get that microphone out my mouth. Your mouth.
I still think it was okay for him to slap him.
Nick, you might also be interested to know that Paul McCartney was also recently on Fly on the Wall podcast too.
Really?
Was he?
Yeah. Paul McCartney, who doesn't do podcasts that often, but he appeared on their podcast.
Well, he
and
probably doesn't know what a podcast
So-
is, to be fair.
I think he probably knows.
He's savvy.
I guess he's savvy, but he's rich.
He tours, man.
I give him
I
credit.
mean, you went to Europe and you could barely survive in Europe. Here's
do you mean
Paul
I could-
McCartney. Like,
What do you mean?
doing
I barely
tour.
survived. I put on like 10 pounds. What are you talking
You
about?
were this
schnitzel.
close from missing your boat, you know. So,
But it wasn't my fault.
I mean,
You're blaming me, but it wasn't my fault. I was
I
okay.
would never blame your wife.
Well, you just actually came out and blamed my wife.
No, I would never blame your wife.
What would happen if you were just a little bit late and you could have made the boat and you just left Cindy in the cab?
Have you seen those ones where they run and jump on the boat?
Yeah,
I could have probably made the jump.
that's what I mean. Like, what if you both would have been like running? Or
I left her
you
money.
would have made
I left her money for a hotel and a train fare, so she was fine.
You're good, babe. I'm going.
Because they were having a good meal that night, so I had to get that.
Yeah,
It was prime rib night.
it was like it was
Dinner's
just,
being served between 4 and 6
It
for all the
was
blue
American- it was
hairs.
American night.
They did
It's just
they did
meatloaf
have the
and
best
potatoes.
ribs. I mean, they were. Oh my god, they were out.
the most
outstanding.
bland American
People.
like food.
And I tried key lime
old
pie for the
country
first
buffet
time.
on the ocean.
He's like, oh shit, they're having pork chops tonight. Sorry, babe. like he was pushing her up that ramp, that you imagine, and then like it tooted
You
one
know,
horn.
the
and he's
worst
like,
part was her
"Sorry."
wheelchair wasn't electric. So I'm trying to get her-
He like stepped on her knuckles as she's trying to climb the ladder.
It's pork chop night, babe.
Meanwhile, Klaus is just sitting there like he doesn't know what to do.
Klaus has no sense of humor. He has no
Klaus
sense
He
of
wants to
humor.
help, but you know,
Klaus
Klaus-
was trying to
because
get with
I-
your
but he
lady. I
too
think
wanted to go for
that's-
that succulent
What
meal.
I learned about
Klaus.
what I learned about Klaus is he was happy about but he didn't like the immigrants. He didn't.
I would definitely check
Wait,
Cindy's.
We gotta pay for the immigrants. I don't like
Yeah.
that. And the people in Austria said, hey, we don't have to pay for anything,
Yeah,
but we get taxed 50% of our income.
yeah.
So they were bitching about that.
Mhm.
And so I was like, but they have no crime, barely any
Right.
crime. They have no school shootings, no mass shootings, no this, that. I mean, it was like,
And no electricity.
Yeah, no electricity. But there's so many people. There's like 2 million people in Austria. There's just way too many fucking people there for me.
Okay.
2 billion. Yeah.
You should have visited our one European fan that we actually have living over
in
there.
Amsterdam.
In Amsterdam, you should have
Right.
gone there.
Well,
and
you
been
know
like,
what?
Wait,
Maybe if I had.
Hey.
Who's our fan living in Amsterdam?
He's written us
Come
emails before.
She
Come on,
has
Chris.
written
What's
us
his name? What's
Ileana.
She
right?
bought a
Isn't it Ileana?
sweatshirt.
That's right.
Yeah.
She bought a sweatshirt.
I do recall.
Is it Liliana or Ileana? And I apologize if I've gotten that wrong. I blame it on
probably
the
have.
alcohol
You
and the
probably
fact
have.
that I have a student with a similar name. So.
You blame it on the fact
It was
the
it
bongo.
started with it started with a D. It's not even an I. It's like
Well,
Yeah, same.
maybe if I hadn't walked 4.5 miles in the Amsterdam airport to find out what was going on.
Walk 500 miles.
That airport there, it's like a fucking city in a city.
I wanna go to
It's
that
like
one.
it's like shopping
Mm.
mall after shopping mall after shopping mall. I just wanted to find where British Airways was, and
Oh,
nobody
man.
could tell me where British Airways was.
You're such an.
But that's I'm saving that for the bonus.
Okay, save
Saving
it
that
for
for
the
the bonus.
bonus.
Are we doing a bonus?
Next week.
No, next week.
Next
Cindy
week,
goes
yeah.
because Colin goes. Well, you got to stay in Amsterdam at bonus city. I go. What the fuck are you talking about? I go. I was stuck at the airport all day long. Anyway,
Yeah, smoke
My
them if you
nephew
got
goes
them.
to school in Amsterdam. Oh, and not in Amsterdam, but like not too far away.
I would have loved to have gone touring Amsterdam, but it was like
I'm surprised they didn't have a red light district in the airport for you to like experience all of the things.
They
that you
might as
wanted
well
to.
have. Maybe they did.
The
I'm not
glory
kid-
holes.
I'm
all
not
the
kidding.
holes, the
Have you-
drugs.
anyone here been to Heathrow?
Yes.
Well, I've heard about it in Love Actually, but go ahead.
Because we had to take to go to gate
Nick's
5.
like the one person getting that reference.
we had to take a 20-minute bus ride in the same airport to get to our plane. We almost missed our flight twice.
Huh.
It was
I
like
don't
a
know.
20.
I think you guys are really prepped for this globe-trotting
Amazing Race?
world. Yeah, you're set.
I was
A
I was
nice.
about
I
ready. I was
don't
about
speak that with
because
two
when we went to
drinks in my belly.
we had to go through security again
Mm.
in England. I had I just bought water bottles in Hungary anyway, because
You were hungry for
the first time I
water.
bought water bottles, I didn't check the goddamn, and they were the seltzer ones.
Oh, the oily
Water
ones.
with gas.
You go, oh god, this sucks.
I love
But-
seltzer water. Who
Well, I
else likes
don't-
seltzer water?
Nobody,
Good for you.
nobody likes seltzer water.
I
Nobody.
do. I do. I buy it all
Nobody.
the time.
Dude, I'm literally drinking one right here.
Okay, straight up, my man.
That doesn't look like water.
Yeah.
Well,
Seltzer
it's-
water with like Mio
got-
squirting stuff in there.
Yeah.
Okay,
got-
you got some squirting stuff. This is anyway. So I buy these 2 waters, and I put them in a plastic bag. She goes, "No, you can't have. You can't." I go, "You know what? I just put them on the counter. You deal with them."
Okay,
I walked into
they like just in
security.
plastic Ziploc bags is what I'm imagining.
Yeah,
No.
it was I'll save it because it was a fucking nightmare. Fucking nightmare.
All right, we'll save it for the bonus
Well, I
episode.
say fuck you
that
at
we're
the airport.
Gonna talk
Yeah.
about next week, which we're gonna record
what?
next week on
Well,
Monday.
a
again.
bonus episode for the patrons.
It's
Nope.
gonna be a Monday double
We haven't
feature
we haven't done one in like a couple weeks.
or
Yeah.
months.
You know, it feels like Matt's trying to be producer right now and
Yeah,
trying
I'm
to
not.
wrap up the
I'm
show.
just-
Fucking
just-
take over.
I know. I'm making sure that things are said.
Well, you're pointing. Matt, have you been drinking? You're over here pointing. And when you start pointing, that means you've been drinking. Oh, yeah.
If you move the B on this drink, it says Ramble Mule. So
Before we start to wrap up, though, we did get an email
we did.
before we took our break, and we
Oh, before the break.
It's been so long that they've actually sent us an email live.
It's like, please stop recording
Hey,
now.
hope you read this email. Shut the fuck up.
Miami Mike says,
Go ahead, producer.
no.
No, you started. Go ahead.
try
No,
I
I-
see it, Randy. Yeah.
Randy
All right,
has 3 weeks of jokes, emails piled up, ready to go. By the way,
all dad jokes.
All sheep jokes.
All right, Nick, what do you got?
Okay, so this is from Joanne, part 2.
Oh,
Joanne with the plan.
This is
okay.
good.
Yeah.
The title is NASA on the International Stage.
Yeah.
Ooh, I
As
like
promised, this
Uh-huh.
is part 2 of thoughts related to For All Mankind, and more specifically about my history with NASA.
that. Ooh, I like this.
This is awesome.
As
It
I
was the fifth amendment.
We're getting a story. We're getting a story.
write about U.S. and Russia write about U.S. and Russia interactions, I should note that I have basically no real insight or stories directly in that regard.
Fuck! God damn it!
Nick,
What are we here for?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's gonna be another 4 weeks for Matt until Matt returns.
All right, sorry.
He's taking
I
another
didn't mean
break.
for that. Go ahead.
But I am writing this from Scotland after
Scotland?
last week.
Oh,
Scotland. After last week meeting with folks in Denmark. So you could have probably hooked up with Joanne, Jack.
yeah.
If only I knew.
There's something afoul in Denmark. Wait. Go ahead. Keep
I'm-
reading.
uh,
Don't mind me.
But for the most part, my international travels have little to do with space and international relationship in that regard. They were related to my program that supports purchasing of technology by the entire U.S. government. The only Russian interaction I have had is with Kaspersky software.
Elections.
Software was banned from all government purchasing because there was some belief that Russia was using it to infiltrate our infrastructure.
Ooh. Fucking Ruskies.
Fucking Matt is so angry.
While not ever specifically in the Russia and U.S. space mix, from the perspective of a lifelong NASA devotee, I certainly remember the Apollo Soyuz mission in 1975, which was 2 years before I joined NASA. While I am sure there is a lot of fictionalization on the TV show, it was certainly a mission meant purely for political and not for scientific reasons, which that actually happened on the show too.
Yeah.
And it did help with building a pretty lasting cooperation between the two countries. Even today, with all the Ukraine-induced hostilities, we just had our first Russian cosmonaut on a SpaceX flight. And of course, for years, we relied on Russia for our astronaut trips, which is true. The press will pipe up from time to time about tensions, but as I understand it, there is still a strong non-political alliance between the two space agencies. This is not to say that if I ever went to Russia, that there would not be lengthy process and discussion and likely special training. What the fuck you guys?
Go ahead. Stop.
One last note about training. I had to take an international training course. One section was about encountering terrorists or terrorists. I had the wrong answer to the quiz question of how far you should be when there is a phone-based bomb nearby. Choices include something like 15 feet away and the farthest distance like 25 feet. I, of course, went with the farthest distance, but I was wrong as it was the second farthest. I don't know why. Note for me, the best distance is nowhere in the same country. Thanks for letting me send my NASA-based thoughts. Next time I'll tackle the Outpost Tavern scene. Joanne with the plan.
Awesome. And for some reason, Matt has lost his fucking marble.
Matt has lost it. He's like
really
he's turning blue.
No, it was good. That was good shit. Oh, whoa.
That's
You
awesome.
need duct tape around your suit.
Whew.
You're not going to make it.
Ah, man, I could barely breathe.
I guess, Joanne, I guess you haven't watched the show yet, because I know that was one of the things we were kind of wanting feedback on.
She hasn't watched the whole thing yet, I think.
Maybe not. I don't know, because I don't know. I guess we were wanting a little bit of her input of what she thought of the show as well.
Like I said, I love NASA. I wish I could go back in time. What the fuck, Matt?
Matt, dude.
Matt has lost it. Matt
He is
has officially
derailed.
lost it.
No, why are you bringing that up? Now, why are you bringing that up? Huh? Because I got to wake up in the morning and I got to see that bullshit. Okay? It just brings me down. Okay?
I don't know who put it up there.
Nick
I
can
didn't
fuck
do it.
himself because I don't give a shit about that shit. Okay? I see this shit when I wake up in the morning. I don't want that shit. I got other shit to go on about my day about. I don't need to see this weak ass illustration that's clearly not thought about. Just computer. Let's put Matt's name in here.
It's definitely not everyday's inventions.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
The artwork.
Thanks.
I mean, it's not.
Don't besmirch my name.
What are you talking about? I gave you a compliment.
Uh,
You're a hard man to please. I just gave you a compliment. I said the artwork on that was terrible.
This is probably a good spot to stop.
Do we have any more emails?
That was it.
No, we didn't. But that
Randy
was
didn't say anything.
that was really good, Joanne. Thanks for that email.
That was awesome.
It was.
I am really sorry that I lost my shit.
I would love to go.
related
I'm
to the
not begging
email.
here, but I would love to go on a tour of NASA. I just say.
I would
Oh, yeah.
not laugh.
I don't think Matt would be allowed to go on a tour.
I love life and I laugh at shit. Sometimes it's. Whew. Excuse me. Hold on a second.
Randy says I'm banned.
Randy says he's banned from NASA.
All right. Well, thank you.
Anyway,
patrons.
this was a great show. 1 in a million, kids. Matt, are you okay?
You got Don Draper over there.
He just needs a few cigarettes, and he would be Don Draper.
Oh shit!
Matt is
But
what we call
anyway,
drinking his feelings away this evening.
That's all I can do.
I'm glad we got back together, got the group back together.
Yeah,
the band back
you know,
together.
it's cool getting the gang back together. Missed you guys.
The gang, or whatever it is, like gang
Just repeating
bang.
Jack now.
It's my band mates.
Randy says he's banned from the emails.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Randy, you can send in
you
any
don't, buddy.
email as long as it's not sheep-based related.
Sheep-based related. Yep. The sheep-based related emails. Fuck.
Oh shit! Anyway, that's why you don't drink 2 drinks in a
And then
night.
We can share that one off.
If they're sheep-based related.
It's such a bad example.
Oh man!
And anyway, I just lost track of where I was at.
We have some special
Wrap
people.
it
to
up,
thank this
producer.
week.
Come on.
Have
We
helped me
thank all our patrons. If you want to become
We
a
do.
patron, we're still looking for that $1 million patron. Come on, if you're out there. Hey, did anyone play the Powerball today?
I played.
I forgot to play it.
Isn't it
So
Saturdays and Wednesdays?
Well, it's Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. It's $1.9 billion.
Whatever you guys want to call it, Powerball.
I'll go
But-
buy a ticket.
But here I'm talking to my wife. I said, you know what sucks? I go, you probably wouldn't get $1 billion if you won
No.
1.9 billion. You wouldn't get $1 billion.
Okay, but still,
You
if
get
you had
like,
$1 million, though,
you get like-
you'd be pretty set.
400 million or something like that.
Yeah, but you win
You give me $1
1.9
million
billion, and you only
I'll-
get 400 million.
Yep.
If I won, you guys probably wouldn't hear from me ever again.
Yeah,
I'd be
fair.
I'm fucking moving to Mars.
Chris, be
bitches.
like, hey, fuck you! I won. Will Fry says the cash value is $929 million.
Guys, look,
That's
all I'm saying
bananas.
is half that, and you're still good. You're still good.
You could
You
buy
don't have to
3
worry.
drinks. You could buy 3 drinks, Matt.
I could buy a third drink, and then where would we be? We would have
Where
no
would we be?
bonus episode.
All right. It's time for
Anyway.
Matt to go to bed.
Thank
So
you.
at
Chris.
this time, we're going to thank all our patrons,
Do it.
but we're going to thank Tack from Paris, Eckhart Richter, Glaffeler, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with a NASA plan, and Ed, the creepy letter carrier, poopy head, or whatever he's called. Randy says more than 300 euros. So anyway, thanks for joining us. We'll be back next Monday night
Yeah.
for a regular show and a bonus for the patron show,
Bonus.
where you can hear about my flight back from
So good.
overseas.
So good.
So good. So good. So
Sweet
good.
Carolina.
But that's all we got.
Fucking show.
Hasta luego and goodbye.
Goodbye.
This was a great show. It was so fun. It's good.
Nick, you got anything to say?
Look at Matt.
Matt's a mess.